Hello everybody, so glad to have you here today. Jessica welcoming you back for another wonderful workout. Today's focus is going to be on those deep core muscles and stabilizers, giving us a nice lean, pulled in toned look, but more importantly, making sure that those core muscles are functioning and strong to support us throughout our daily movements. We are also going to be working on getting that pelvic floor to work in conjunction with our core exercises. So very light, gentle pelvic floor strengthening here today. We are going to be completely seated for this workout that is going to give us support through the low back, hips, and pelvic floor while we work to build that strength. So you will need your chair. I also have a yoga block here with me today. A small unweighted Pilates ball, a small pillow, a rolled up towel can take the place of this if you do not have a yoga block. Of course, no yoga block will be just fine as well. I also have my medium length long resistance band here with me today. This is going to add in a bit of an extra challenge for those core muscles while we work through those exercises. Again, if you do not have this, you will be just fine without it, or if it is your preference for no equipment today, don't even worry about it. Go ahead and select what you need for today's workout, and we're gonna get started right now. Okay, you've got everything that you need and we are ready to get started. Yoga block, if you are working with that, is right to the front of the chair underneath so that you have it handy, and your exercise band is to the back of the chair. We're gonna take a few warm-ups here, making sure that those muscles feel their best. Gentle twist of that left arm over to the right leg. And as you take a deep breath in here, feel those lungs open up, stretching open the back. And then as you exhale, maybe you deepen a little bit into the twist, but no forcing. And that goes for everything here today. It is about developing strength and control through your movements. So we are not going to push into anything that our body is not ready for. Let's take it over to the other side. Right arm crosses to the left thigh and just go where that body feels good. Very beginning of a stretch, and then start your rib cage expansion breathing here. So you're breathing through the front, sides, and especially the back. Maybe you find that perfect sweet spot on the inhale and you are able to exhale, deepen into that. Just a little bit. Continue to breathe, stretching open the back muscles. Wonderful job here. We want to go ahead and make sure that as we work through our movements, we are not pushing the abdominal wall out. Once we are challenging it with our exercises, we want to make sure that it is pulling up and in. So you are not sucking in your belly button. You are not sucking in your breath. You are engaging the core muscles up and in. And we're going to go ahead and find that movement here. So hands right here to the belly. You're going to go ahead and just let it relax. You're not pushing it out. You're going to take a good breath in. And then you're gonna give me an H sound. And hopefully you feel those core muscles pull up and away from your hand. And practice that a few times here just so that you can engage with the movement. Think about fogging up a mirror or a window. And it's really light. It almost just doesn't even feel like work, but this is how we want these core muscles moving today with our work pattern. So on our inhales, we are going to relax them, and we are going to exhale. They pull up and in, engaging to make sure that they are supporting us. And we're not going to rely on those deep pelvic floor, deep hip, or low back muscles. Let's take 2 more breaths here. One more. Beautiful job there. Hands go to the thighs. Let's take some cat and cows here. If the low back is sensitive today, be cautious pushing that belly button forward. You're just gonna roll forward here a little bit and then arch the back, drop the head, core muscles pulling up and in. Inhale, belly relaxes, whether you push forward into a back arch or a back bend here, and then exhale, core muscles pull up and in as you arch the spine behind you. Keep working with the pace of your own breath here. We do not need to speed anything up. And at the same time, don't let me hold you back. If your pace is a little bit faster, we have time for 2 or 3 more, depending on how you are moving. Great job. Hand can go to the belly anytime here today that you are maybe not confident of what those muscles are doing. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to be able to feel it without those external cues. So hand can go to the belly if you need that. And be patient with yourself here today. Remember, because we are including the pelvic floor, it is not as strong as your trunk of the body muscles. So this is going to be a slower, gentler workout. That doesn't mean that you are not making progress. You can turn to the side in your chair because we do want some space to lean back behind us. And if you feel like you may need a little bit of support, hand can go to the back of the chair and your free hand is going to go to the belly. We're going to drop the shoulders down, slide the chin back, plant through the feet. Take a good deep breath in. Belly relaxes. And we exhale. We're not going to drop through the spine. We're just going to lean back. Core flattens up and in. Feel it pull away from the hand. Inhale to come up. Now this is where that yoga block may come in handy. If you felt like you couldn't control that movement, we can get some work and help from the inner thighs to help us. So yoga block will squeeze in between the legs. Try it again here. Good deep breath in. Exhale, lean back. And now that you can use those inner thighs, it might be a little easier. You might be able to go further. So yoga block, if you need it, you can take it out. If you don't, exhale, lean back. Inhale forward. Great job here. Make sure that you're not feeling this low back moving forward and back. Tuck the tailbone. It's going to stay there. So you're simply leaning back. Exhale, hold. Inhale to return. Beautiful job. We have time for 5 or 6 more, depending on how you are moving. If you feel like you're leaning back and those core muscles are pushing out and forward, you may need to modify this movement smaller, or that may be a sign from your body that it is just not ready to go for our 10 to 12 reps. If you just need to take a little bit of a break, that's okay too. When it comes to core muscles and especially pelvic floor strength, we have all had different experiences in womanhood, in possibly childbirth, in injuries, movement patterns. So we are all going to be starting from different places. Be willing to let your work here today look different. The important thing is that you are controlling it. You are using the core muscles to manage this lean back rather than the low back, deep hips, or that pelvic floor. And I believe we have one more here. And bring it on up and in. A great job here. You can remove that yoga block. We're gonna go ahead and face the front again. Now, we are gonna be working with the same thing here, but in the reverse. Let yourself lean against the back of your chair. We are going to start from easiest, and as we go through, you can decide if some of the more challenging variations are right for you. Yoga block in between the thighs. You're clear of the knee joint. You're resting on the back of your chair, but that belly isn't pushing forward and you're not slouching. Neutral spine. Take a good deep breath in. Engage those core muscles. Hands are here to feel for that. Good breath in. Exhale, lift the heels coming very light into the toes. You did not feel those core muscles bulge out, right? They're still pulling up and in. Leave it down. Let's try that one more time, just to the tips of the toes, very lightly. If that is too difficult, remove the yoga block and work with one leg at a time. If it is too easy, take that good breath in. Exhale, lift the knees, and lower. And you're set up with that breathing pattern to move right into your next one. And you work wherever this feels best for you. I am not ready for it, but if you are, you're gonna lean the back up off of the chair and exhale, lift those knees up, but I can feel those core muscles wanting to give way on that. So I'm gonna stay resting back here. We have about time for 6 to 8 more. You do not need to rush anything. Try not to grip to the bottom of the chair, holding on for dear life. I know this is tough though. And at any time, it doesn't all have to be the same, mix and match. So if you feel like things are getting too tough, the core muscles are getting tired, they're no longer pulling in on your exhales, take it to one of the easier variations. There is no room for our ego here today. Great job. Big breath in, let it relax. And then exhale, it all pulls up and in. Keep squeezing that block because that inner thigh strength is going to help you stabilize the pelvis here. And that's just one less thing to worry about. Got real cloudy all of a sudden. Let's take one more here. And you might find that maybe you underestimate some of these exercises here at the very beginning, and then once you get halfway or 3/4 of the way through them, you're like, oh, that's tough. Tougher than you would think it would be. While we have the block, I was gonna put it down, but it's already out. Let's go ahead and work with it here. If you do not have a block, you're simply going to press the hand to the thigh. Again, lean yourself back to the chair. We're gonna go block over the left thigh, and then we're gonna cross the left arm on top of it, so opposite side. And then we're gonna come to the toes on the right foot, toes on the left foot too. And then we're gonna open out, right arm, left leg. Feel those core muscles stabilizing. You do not have the hand here to feel, so hopefully you can just get the sense that they're pulling in. But if not, take that right hand here. And you can just work with the leg. Great job here. Exhale. Inhale, pull. And as you work here, you can still rest on the back of your chair, but try to keep it light so that there is that little bit of management from the core muscles here also. And this is a bigger movement and they should be getting tired. We're gonna take one more, so we're splitting it up between the two sides. Little bit of bonus thigh work there for you too. Block goes to the left thigh, right hand here, left arm will drop down, toes on both sides. So we're light through the feet, we're light through the middle upper back resting on the chair because we're making those core muscles work, right? Open it up, we're going for 6, but you may have 4, you may have 7. Don't get hung up on a number. Take breaks when you need it. Exhale, open up. Inhale to return. And that's gonna set you up for your next exhale. Remember, belly is relaxing on the inhale. Little bit of a push of this hand into the block. We're using some of the back muscles on this side. One more here makes 6 for me, and like I said, more or less for you. Totally fine. All right. Bring it on forward. We have the yoga block or whatever you're working with. We're going to take a little halfway stretch for that low back. So walk those hips back in the chair, forearms to the thighs. And just because the forearms are here to the thighs, you can still get a really big back stretch here just by letting gravity pull you forward. Personally, I like to have something to connect to, so I don't like my arms just dangling. You can set the yoga block down if you would like to deepen a little bit here. Slight rounding of that low back towards the chair. And you are here. The belly is a little bit compressed in this position, so it should be really easy for you to breathe into your back. This area here tends to get a little stuck, especially if you feel low back tension. So as you breathe in, imagine breathing into this area. It's stretching open. And you just might feel a stretch just on your inhale, exhale, let it relax. Let's take one more breath here. Let it relax. Great job here. Now, before you roll yourself all the way up, if you've got that yoga block still, you can just set it back underneath the chair. We are pretty much done with that here today, so you can get it as far out of the way as you would like. If you are working with your band, you are going to find that here. The tail end of the band is going to come to the floor. We are going to secure it with the right foot, and the band is going to pull over. The farther out you get this right foot, and the more resistance your band has. So for instance, I have a medium band, so if yours is light versus heavy or medium in between, you're going to feel more or less work, and you can increase that work by taking this right leg further out. We're going to hold this band to the middle, left hand on top, right hand on bottom. It's coming right to the chest. So there is already this pull of the band. It's going to want to pull the torso this way, and we're recruiting those deep corset muscles through those deep abs here to fight that pull. So you need to stay very center through the trunk of the body. If you can't control it, bring it back in. Give yourself more band, lighter band, or leg slides in. Here we go from the chest. Good deep breath in. Exhale, it presses out. Core muscles pull up and in, and again, you're fighting that pull on the band. If you didn't feel any work, give yourself less band, heavier band, or take the foot further out. So adjust it through there. Pull it back in, belly relaxes. You have to get really set up for your next working rep. Exhale. Inhale. We're gonna go for 3 more on this side. We'll take 3 more over on the left. This is a seated variation of the Pala press. Really great core exercise. And hopefully as you feel those core muscles pulling up and in here today, you can feel how that's going to, just like a corset, bind and tighten you up. I've never met anybody, especially a woman, that's like, oh yeah, I want everything to hang out the front. No. Everybody usually says, I want it pulled in. I want that flat, tall, stretched look. Tail to the center of the floor. Left foot, you want to make sure that this band is very secure. It's going to come over the top of the left foot. And we are going to take right hand to the top, left hand to the bottom. Same abilities for adjustment here. Take a good breath in. Exhale, press. Pause, feeling that work. Inhale, relax, and return. 5 more. Three more, or just however many you get in the time that we have left. Make sure you're not turning with your band. The band is the only thing that's diagonal here. Last one here. Bring it back in and release. Okay, so if you are watching this here on the day that it is uploaded or sometimes after, I'm just gonna say first time versus second time because these videos stay up here on YouTube. I leave them up for all of time and eternity. So as you find your favorite workouts, you can come back to them, and it's a really good way to gauge, did I improve? Am I faster, stronger? Am I balancing better? Whatever. But I will say, if this is your first time completing this workout here today, you may feel like, oh my gosh, that was so great. I'm ready to tackle more. I want my pelvic floor nice and strong. I don't want to feel like I'm leaking if I do a jumping jack, or I don't want to feel deep hip pain. All of our pelvic floor issues, sometimes we can be really gung-ho and eager to help correct them. But it is so important here that you know that you can go from a pelvic floor that needs a little bit of strengthening to a pelvic floor that is too tight and too overworked, and now you have a completely different set of problems, and that change can happen so fast. So I always like to start very conservative, very slow. So if this is your first time completing this workout here today, one round is more than enough. You want to give it a few days, see how your pelvic floor feels, see how those core muscles feel before you come back to this workout again in the future. Give it some time, maybe a week or two, and you can consider, depending on how you felt from this workout, you can consider repeating it maybe for a second round and maybe modifying up those exercises, because like I said, when it comes to the pelvic floor, less is more, especially when you're starting out, because you do not know how that is going to react. And I do not want you to go from a pelvic floor that needs that little bit of encouragement and little bit of strength and then tip and spill right on over into a pelvic floor that is too tight and overworked. And like I said, happens so easy. So that's just my little extra disclaimer here for you today. Hopefully you stuck around and you are listening to that here. Let's go ahead and bring yourself down. Rest in the chair and avoiding that pelvic floor and whole body tightness. Think about all of the ways that we verbalize things that we feel and turn them into something physical. The weight of the world on your shoulders, pain in the butt, things like that. So we do take our emotional stress and we do harbor it in our bodies. So taking a few quiet moments for yourself here, finding some mental space to relax, and softening through your breath is going to allow that body to soften. As you are resting here to the back of your chair, I would like you to wrap the left hand around the top, right underneath, right where a sports bra would sit, right around the rib cage, and right hand goes to the belly. You can feel your back muscles resting against the back of your chair. I want you to take a breath in and feel those back muscles expand into your seat. And exhale. And then I want you to feel both arms move as the breath expands through the rib cage and the belly. And once you find that pattern, just continue to breathe here, and you are giving yourself this beautiful hug. And it's really important that you tell yourself nice, wonderful things here. So your body, you have a normal body, your belly is normal and wonderful, your core muscles are working with you. Be a teammate here, so talk nice to yourself as you breathe and relax. Great job here. Go ahead and finish out whatever breath you are on. And then let's let those hips slide forward into the chair. And we're going to stretch out that low back a little bit under the right knee, or if you do not have knee sensitivity, to the front, and just round yourself forward, creating a nice C shape through the spine. You can give it a wiggle here if you would like. Let's take it to the left leg. You might feel hip if that's tight, rather than the low back, and that's okay because you're just working out whatever needs it at that point. Set it on down, and let's windshield wiper here, opening up some of the internal and external rotators of the hip. Hips have a lot to do with how your low back feels, how your pelvic floor feels. And we just want to make sure that if anything got a little tight throughout this workout, that we are opening it back up. Okay, take it back to the center. Slide yourself forward and up, and that is a wrap for today's workout. Thank you so much for joining me. We do not focus specifically on the pelvic floor in a lot of our workouts, but rest assured, if you're like, wow, I want more pelvic floor, I want more core, when we are doing our workouts and I cue for those breathing patterns, inhale for this part of the movement, exhale for that part of the movement, I am always thinking and planning for us to build support through those deep core muscles, through those back and trunk of the body stabilizers, as well as the pelvic floor. But today it was just a little more directly focused on that area. So I definitely hope that your body feels good, that you feel like this was a really great balance of finding that challenge without overworking those really sensitive areas. The chair giving us all of that wonderful, beautiful support as we worked. So great job here today. Even if you had to modify things, that's all right. We're all starting somewhere, and like I said, we all have different movement patterns, so no pressure on your body. Do not be hard on it. Do not be hard on yourself. You did an amazing job here today. It doesn't matter what it looked like as long as you took care of yourself and you worked on building that progress. So I'm proud of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Meet me back here for the next amazing workout. You are all done. Support yourself with proper rest, hydration, and nutrition, and I will see you guys again soon.